Hey guys, how are you today? It's Red Orca, bringing you another Halo Wars video. This one is a 3v3 on Exile, and it is me, Nick MX66, and I do not even try, versus GC Velocity, Quantum Vortices, and Mr. Biget. This one is a mirror match with me and Quantum playing Brute, Nick and Biget playing Arbiter, and Tryhard and Velocity playing Anders. This game is actually about a month old. I could have posted it sooner, but I've been kind of lazy because it's a long game, and this will be my second long commentary. And like I said, it's kind of hard talking to yourself for half an hour, but I guess it is what it is. Practice makes perfect. Also, interesting fact, this is our first game this day that we got them. Like, no warm-up game, just right into this, and I didn't know for sure that Quantum and Velocity are back. I just had heard, but I hadn't seen it, so it was like, oh, well, crap, good game. Also, I will apologize. Early game, I do not look around enough at my teammates because I was kind of freaked out by who we were playing, so there is that. So, I'll do better for the next one, but I'll give you the warning now. Now, this one being Exile. You see Nick flaring there. It's because he's going to try to take out Quantum's base, just because on Exile, if you let the Brute get unchecked early, he can just continue to like either Brute or Hall Rush your base and just go and keep building them and just steamroll bases. Because I guess Exile is kind of a Brute map. Actually, I had it explained to me once. Someone said that out of the 3 maps, not counting the DLC, Exile is a Brute map, Frozen is an Arbiter map, and Dean is a Prophet map. I think it's more accurate that Exile is a Brute map, Frozen is an Arbiter map, and Dean isn't bad for the Prophet, but it's still better for the Arbiter. And I'm not even going to talk about Glacial, because, I mean, I've had that map now for a couple months, thanks to Nick, and still haven't gotten it online. I just, with anybody, and I'm not talking just searching with people who don't have it, I'm talking people who do, so it just hasn't come up. I guess maybe my bad luck, but or good luck, depending on how you look at it. But Exile is my favorite threes map, not because it's a Brute map, just because, again, I really like all the ones with the flood background and the flood music. I guess it's a silly thing to care about, but aesthetics matter. So, but hopefully for the new game with Halo Wars 2, there will be more than 3 maps with shipping. I mean, when the game ships. So, I digress, though. Back to this game. I'm going to bring my chopper over here and just try to keep it by the space, just in case they try to cheese Tryhard's Expo, just because, well, even a C lead matters so much, which is why I'm going to go over and try to do this, basically take out Velocity's Expo. So, not 100% sure which base they're going to hit. That's what I'm assuming they are, but we haven't played them in threes, and, I mean, obviously there's different ways to play every map, and different teams do mix it up, but just you kind of get an idea of how for certain teams play. So we weren't sure what they're going to do, but we see Quantum right there, so he is going to go try to hit Tryhard's Expo. So he's ahead of me, though, so my bad, but I'm going to go try to get over there to Velocity's Expo as quickly as possible. Now, as you see, he's going to go for Tryhard's Marine and try to really just slow down his Gauss, just because, well, it's so important, especially on, well, any threes map, who gets Gauss first, but Exile, that's a big one. As you can see, their base composition is a little different than ours, but they have both those Anders bases in the middle tier, and then the Covenant each have one in the bottom and the top, whereas it's me and Tryhard in the top, Nick has one in the middle and the bottom, and then I have one in the middle. Obviously, it just depends on where you spawn, but personally, I don't like having 2 in the same unless you're in the back, but can't always get that. That's just one of those random game things. Not 100% sure if there's any way to control that. I don't think there is. But as you can see, Velocity is back there hitting my Expo, so I was trying to stop this Grunt Rush, and Biget is defending me. Now, I could be aiming him down, but I've got an Anders on my base, and I'm already losing enough. I really just need to take this base with me. And as you can see by the yellow in the back, Tryhard is currently hitting Quantum's Expo. So, really, Exile is a contest to see who can drop more bases. I mean, if you can basically do that to them early, you end the game. But as you can see by this being Well, I'm not going to spoil anything else that happens in this game, but this being a 30-minute game, obviously we don't end the game quickly. Long games are my favorite, just, commentating them, I guess I'll have to get used to it. I know there's definitely some people who post and talk through turtles, so if they can do that, I can do this, right? But so Biget's recalling to defend. Nick is also recalled to defend, taking those hogs off of my base since they're Goss now, and Goss, well, as you know, does tons of base damage. And since Nick wasn't able to take out Quantum's main due to him getting Citadel, although he was able to do some damage to it, he's going to go back there and just stop them from killing my base, which is much appreciated. So right now we aren't down any bases and they're down one, so that's good so far. But I'm getting defended by hogs and an arbiter, so it's becoming pretty clear that I can't keep rushing. Like sometimes, obviously, I'm sure you've seen games as Brute, like the people go ahead and just go grunts the whole game and just keep going and building all of them. But with this, how much I've lost and how much I just failed the vortex there. Whoops. I can't do that, so I'm going to switch into air as quickly as possible and try to get air out before their team does. As you can see, Quantum is still on Tryhard's base, but they're down 2 bases. Tryhard was able to drop that Brute Expo, so we haven't lost any yet. So right now we're looking pretty good. Okay, so that's pretty much dead Brute, so Tryhard's going to be able to push him off pretty easily. I mean, you don't want to leave him there just smacking at your pads, but it's going to take like one shot from a Goss Hog to kill that. As you can see, he is dead, so no longer back there. Now, Tryhard is flaring just because with that base not being dead and with them having hit 2 of theirs, they need to do something to us, so they're coming up and they're going to go ahead and try to drop our Anders' Expo. So both Nick and Tryhard are over there defending. There's Velocity, he drops the D-bomb, try to kill that Arbiter so he can, well, one, because he doesn't have enough hogs at that point to kill him, and Biget wasn't with him, so, well, he is, but he was like not right there at that exact, like, in the back, if that makes sense. I'm speaking that wrong. He is with him, but he wasn't like in that corner, so he has to D-bomb him because the Arbiter can just, rip the hogs pretty easily until you have enough to kill him. So after that, with that D-bomb, Tryhard's going to go in and defend his own base, and right now, since as far as I know I have air lead, since I have 2 bases and their Brute doesn't, I'm going to go ahead and try to see if I can stop any Anders Expos, try to really make sure that Velocity doesn't get an Expo up, and keep Tryhard ahead, since while they did manage to do a bunch of base damage, they did manage to kill that base. So I caught those, but I'm not staying because, well, Banshees, and they're going to get picked off pretty easily by Goss, and I wouldn't even try to fight hogs with Banshees that aren't repeating. So I have terrible timing back here. As you see, the shield on Quantum's new base gets up right when I get there. Whoops. And while I'm doing this, Tryhard is trying to get his 3rd base, and so basically really trying to secure UNSC lead there. At least for now, Exile really turns into an awful lot of base destruction. And my bad luck continues. As you see, the Arbiter gets a shield up right when I get there as well. Bad timing award goes to Orca, but it is what it is. So up back there you see Velocity's trying to clear that base, so he's going to try to get his base is up just because he really needs to catch back up. Biget is over there guarding that expo so it can come up. So I'm going to go ahead and get out because Quantum has gotten vampires at this point. Now, that means I need to keep in mind that I'm going to have to switch at some point, but the longer I can stay on Banshees, the better, just because I can actually fly around scout bases and do base damage. But eventually I'm going to have to switch. Right now, neither Arbiter, as far as I can tell, is going units. Both of them are still going all Arby, which admittedly at this stage of the game makes sense, because as I've been told, or, well, as I've experienced, although I haven't played that much Arbiter compared to a lot of people, is you're broke all the time on this map, so they're both going all Arby at this point, and basically you'll see like the Arbiter running around with the Hogs fighting each other. Yeah, I really needed to get out of there faster. Whoops. Yeah, Tryhard is worried that that base has since gotten up since we saw those Hogs back there, so I'm going to go back and scout. And as you can see on the map, Nick was back there guarding his expo while it got up, just because you really need to make sure it gets up, which is what you saw Biget doing to Velocity's second base. Alright, so we were able to stop the third. Like I said, I've already apologized. I didn't look around enough at them, just because, like I said, I was nervous. But that will start changing soon. I have already rewatched this game, so I did know that. Okay, so I get caught here. I'm going to go ahead and stay, since I pretty much know I need to switch into vampires, and it won't matter that he has vamps before me if I could just go ahead and drop this base. And again, our Anders being on 3 bases and theirs being on 1 is really going to put Tryhard ahead, as long as like he has hog numbers on him, which he seems to be doing pretty good on hog numbers right now. He's come out pretty well in all the engagements so far, so there haven't really been that many. There's just been that one big one by his base, but still. Well, that and him like dropping the brute base and then getting away with his alive. He's in good shape, you know, has the 3 bases and has hog numbers, so either way, it's looking pretty good for us right here. As you can see, Nick is running with the Anders Hogs. Again, so important not to get caught off with your Hogs without your Arbiter, or the Arbiter all by himself when there's this much Goss traveling, just because that's a good way to get surrounded and killed. And then, you know, you have the other team as an advantage while you get yours back out. Pardon me if my throat sounds kind of dry. I recorded this once already, and then I realized that I had my mic like plugged in wrong. Pretend that didn't happen, but okay. So right there, Velocity goes ahead and tries to cryo Tryhard's Hogs. So he's able to catch a couple of them, and all their units are in there. And I was going to bring my Vamps into that engagement, and possibly I should have, but as you can see, Tryhard is trying to pull out, well, he's fighting with what's in there, but he's not sending anything else new in. So, and this would just not be a good engagement for us if, I mean, it wasn't as it was. Like I said, I should have been there, but since I wasn't, needed to not be there at that point. But again, we still have base advantage on them. They have 2 Anders bases now to our 3, but we've had the 3 for a long time with them being on 1. So you see back there, Quantum does have Banshees because he needs to try to stop bases, whereas all of mine at this point have been killed that last engagement that just happened. I sent them in. And, yes, I love this glitchy game. But Velocity's also in the back, because they, with Tryhard having that base advantage for so long, they really have to try to kill that, like they tried to come in on his second base before. You just can't let the enemy Unicy be on that many more bases than you for that long without putting yourself at a supreme disadvantage. But right now we're still in a good spot compared to them. I mean, they're definitely not in, they're definitely, like, one bad engagement for us could turn this, but I'm just saying with the bases, they're definitely in a very good spot. Sorry, excuse me, we are definitely in a very good spot. So, right now back there, the reason I pulled out is we're all going to go in together. So you see both Arbiters are there. And the way that was positioned, Tryhard is able to surround Biget pretty easily. And they're going to come back there, and he does lose his base, but they are able to kill some, definitely kill some of Velocity's hogs, and if I'm not mistaken, that Arbiter died as well, so we're in a good spot. Nick is still chasing, trying to catch any of Velocity's hogs that he can, because he doesn't have to worry about the Arbiter getting him, so... So we're all going to try to, with them not having an Arby right now, we're all going to try to push on Velocity's Expo. Again, just really trying to make them have way less bases than us, trying to put ourselves ahead as best as possible. So the Hogs and the Arbiter together there, go ahead and kill that base. And then because I don't have Banshees anymore, I haven't scouted that in a while, so Tryhard is kind of concerned about the back base, so we're going to check that as well. And we're okay. He kind of just blew it, so I think he did by the debris. Anyway. At this point in the game, with me having this many vampires and Quantum having vampires, until the Arbiters start going air, which is another way you could play Arby on this map, basically both broods are just going to get vampires up, and that's why you saw me buy that Tech 3 right off my base after having that one reactor, just because I need to have Stasis Bomb to try to get ahead of him. It would be really bad for me if he gets Tech 3 first. I had Tech 2 first, so like fully Tech Vamp, so I need to make sure that I have Tech 3 first. Also, ideally, hopefully, if I can win Air War, I mean, Unicy lead's a big thing, but says Air War, if I can win that, hopefully with Tech 3 I can eventually get Sacrifice Banshees, just because they're so good, especially at, well, taking out bases, I mean, which is the name of the game on here. So, Velocity is going to try to get that base up again. They did manage to go over there and kill Tryhard's third, so there is that, but I'm going to go head over there since it just came up and try to vamp it down, which I guess is kind of risky because you notice both my teammates pulled out, so I'm kind of almost asking for Quantum to come in and stasis me, but I know at this point that I have more air than he does, so I'm going to go ahead and take the risk. Okay, so Velocity's trying to expo on our side, so Tryhard and Nick are going to go over there and try to take care of that while I take care of this base. Okay, so that was fine, but this is where I get too greedy, and I'm going to go try to hit his main while they hit his expo. And there's an Arbiter there, and, yeah, Vampire, so that was a mistake, so I'm pulling out. Okay, so you see the reactor back there? I'm going to just talk about UA3s for once. This is why I love, well, one, because you pick your combo, but two, okay, so you see there, I go back to the sacrifice thing. I have that teched in case I can switch. You can see it's almost completed, so we're good there. But I'm going to go back into the reactor now, and because I still haven't paid for the population upgrade, which I don't do yet, but I will in a little bit. But just go back to the reactors. This is why I love playing with like a set team, just because everyone's so good about sharing the reactor. You don't get that one guy that's like, oh yeah, no, mine. But that's more of a UA3's thing, you know, the one flying prophet that sits in it till he goes Tech 3 Prophet and gets 2 Scarabs and doesn't share with his teammates. But, I mean, I've had humans that don't either, so... Like, excuse me, everyone's a human. I've had teammates that don't either, so... it's really nice playing with, like, cooperative team with your friends, so... Alright, I have the population upgrade. It's done. Because it's really much just, like I said, it's going to turn into who can kill off each other's vamps. Quantum and I kind of have each other neutralized right now, so I'm going to switch to a triple pump in case I need it. There is, right there, Tryhard's going to use his D-bomb just because with the position they were in, he would have lost too much before Nick was able to come in. Nick is there, but he wasn't right like on the ramp with his hogs. Like so he's like behind, so he would have still killed some, but it wouldn't have been that engagement wouldn't have been to our advantage. So the D-bomb was a good call, able to kill a lot of hogs there. You notice they're still trying to base on our side. You see that green base, so. And that purple one, so Biget's gone ahead and bought one on our side as well. Now at this point of the game, as far as I know, both Arbiters still don't have units, or so I thought. This is where Nick informed me that he is almost done with a Scarab. So that's why you see that flare right there. Tryhard is telling him to basically send it to Velocity's main as a distraction while we try to push on their back row of bases. The idea being it will keep them all busy and away from us. So it won't be like a full team fight with everybody's air and arbiters and hogs all fighting. Okay, so right there that was a purple Banshee, so it looks like Biget is finally going into air. It's still boost, so, but at this point, if they're both going air, I can't out-air two populations, so we need to do something about that. But basically just going to all get together, and the plan here, like I said, is Tryhard is thinking we basically just push on the back line while they get distracted by that Scarab, so you see it over there fighting them. Now, possibly looking back at this, Tryhard and Nick were all thinking that perhaps if the Scarab had actually come up to the back row with us, it might have been better. Because while it is definitely a distraction, it does take them a bit to kill it. It dies a little bit faster than we were thinking. But it is what it is. The distraction is still going. Operation, fight the Scarab. So we're going to try to take out Quantum's Expo while they fight that. So. They're going to see what we're doing after killing the Scarab. They're going to go ahead and try to also hit our back row of bases, which the one they're attacking is mine, and I'm kind of concerned about losing that base, so I'm going to go ahead and buy that other one in the corner, as you see, just so I can pump up if I lose air. I mean, I have full population right now. Now, looking back, you see I have full pop, and I have over 1,000 resources. I should have been clicking my UNSC at this point, right? Like this point of the game, I do click him later. But right here with this money and like my pop, I needed to be clicking him. So, because it would have helped put him ahead. Or helped him like really keep up what he was doing, because he has to keep constantly replacing like hogs, buying bases. And also we looked at the game stats after, and Quantum was clicking Velocity a lot more than I clicked Tryhard. So there is that. And so there you go. They're going to drop that base though. So I'm glad I bought the extra one. And we're going to drop Quantums, so it's a brute base for a brute base. So we're going to go ahead and try to get Biget's main killed before his... But the thing is, he's got an Arbiter building out of it and a shield, so we have to try to drop that shield and drop that temple before that Arbiter comes out, because he's Tech 3 at this point, so he's going to do, well, basically a lot of damage to us, and the D-bomb isn't back yet. So... At least I don't think it was. I think that was the reason for it. But either way, if he doesn't come out, like, we're set. But we have to shoot it down. Now, they're still hitting our back row. As you can see, they're now hitting the Anders main. So that would be bad for us if they're able to drop that base. But we basically decided to keep pushing on their base. Again, look at my money. Like I said, should have been clicking my UNSC. Okay, so the Arbiter did get out. We didn't manage to stop it. So he's going to be able to kill a lot of stuff while he's out, just because of the nature of Tech 3 Arbiter. And, I mean, we have one too, but still. Okay, so at this point, after that base trade, well, we didn't kill their Arbiter base, they didn't kill our Anders base, but we just lost a lot of units there. and they have 2 pops of air to our 1. So while it was looking very, very good for us at like, I don't know, like 16 minutes, 15 minutes, right now it's more looking in their favor. Just because, again, lost too many units in that. They're going to try to... we're going to go ahead and take that Arbiter base, but an Arbiter base for a Anders base isn't necessarily the best trade, but it still would be good to kill him, and he doesn't have a temple this way. But they're going to go and put everything they have into killing Tryhard's main. So, and we haven't checked Green's expos in a while just because we were pushing on the back row. So right now, like, Tryhard's bought that base in the back on their side, and we're just going to try to stop this at this point, because possibly if we'd come back on defense instead of continuing to push on them, we'd be in a better spot right now. Yeah, see, the clicks came way too late. So as you can see, basically the air they have right there is winning it for them, because while I said UNSC lead is a big deal, air lead on this map is a big deal. I'm going to go ahead and try to go ahead and fight those Banshees, but then Quantum still has vampires to fight me. Nick is switching into air at this point, but we could have probably used it a little sooner. We might have been in a better spot. So now this game is really to their advantage. As you can see, Velocity is pushing on Tryhard's last base. Alright, well, if you can't tell by the minimap, we don't win this one. Spoiler. Basically, some things we could have done differently is, 1, I could have clicked my Anders. 2, if our Arbiter had gotten air when their Arbiter did, instead of a Scarab, we probably would have maintained our lead on them and won the game, because we had been keeping their expos down so well, but once they had 2 pops of air, we were kind of in a pickle, because we couldn't stop both of them. 3, if we'd actually dropped that Arbiter Temple before he'd come out and killed all of Tryhard's Hogs, we'd been in a good spot. And then the other thing we could have done is the Scarab had been, if there was a Scarab built, then it should have stayed with us when we pushed the back row instead of going off as a distraction. So, yeah. Both hubbies going air, or the Scarab being with us, or the Temple dying, or me clicking the Anders. All those things made it go differently. But this was a really good game, and it was really a lot of fun. And like I said, we did have the advantage for a while there. We just weren't able to hold on to it. I'm switching into Sacrifice Banshees at this point, but it's too late, because we can't... They have too much of a, like, air lead right now, and so with that air lead, Tryhard isn't going to be able to keep a base up, because Biget's Banshees are basically going to fly around and drop it. So, as you can see, Nick's Vamps are there as well. I'm trying to switch to Banshees because our only hope is dropping Anders' Expos at this point, but we're really not in a good spot. So, Tryhard resigns. Nick and I could have resigned at this point as well, but we were like, well, we're going to try to kill one more base and then resign. You know how it goes. But either way, thank you very much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed this one, even though I got kind of rambly, and I'll try to be a little less rambly next long commentary, and look at what my teammates are doing a little bit more and not get so nervous, but it is what it is. Appreciate you watching. I hope you'll watch my next video. And again, this is Red Orca, and I hope you have an excellent day.
Local units. We obey. Local units. All units. Forward. Show me where. Local units. Locking on. Show us where. All units. Going now. All units. Engaging. All units. We're on them. Ready to attack. What? A base has been destroyed. Local units. Enemy engagement. Attacking! Local units. Waiting for instructions. Local units. We'll get him. Send me in. Local units.
me a target.
Base under attack.
Where are we needed? What?
Local units.
We see him.